Hi guys, welcome to Show You How. Today I will be giving other options of a study guide for the written and the practical test because I've been asked. And also I will have another video with your 15 questions later on today. So this is just tips on and suggestions on how to pass your test just based on my experience. If you have any suggestions, please list it below. It's all opinions are welcome. So thank you for watching in advance. Let's get into it. So as far as the study guides, I'm going to go over my list for the written exam. So of course you want to use your books. That is the #1 key study guide for you. You want to use the book that you got in beauty school. If you lost the book, then of course we have questions on my channel. I posted probably over 100 questions, so you should have a lot of questions. And then there's also other YouTube channel that provides questions as well. But your book is going to be your #1 study guide, like absolutely like #1. That is the thing that you should use and you should study with. Also, we have channels. So we have my channel, and there is not many, but there is another channel, and one of the main channels I used years ago was called Beauty Health Travel, and she is still here. I will put the name below, and she just basically lists the questions. She speaks, she reads them, and you know, towards the end she puts up all the answers. So what I would suggest is you get a notebook, pen and paper, you fast forward to the end, right? Screenshot those answers, and then you play her video so you can actually just write those questions in as she's reading it, and you can write those answers in as well. So she was a great tool for me. She's the one who suggested that she suggested to her viewers that you get 100 index cards and write 100 questions on them and rehearse them 5 times the night before, and it absolutely worked. That was the time when I passed my test, when I did what she suggested. So she does have some videos, and once again, her channel is called Beauty Health Travel, and I will put the name below. So that was another source that I used, was definitely YouTube and the videos that were on YouTube. Also, another option is to go to your school. You can go to your beauty school. I know right now we are in a pandemic, so it's a little strange. But if your school is open for business, if students are able to go there, it doesn't matter if you graduated 20 years ago, you can still go to your school and you can practice for the written exam and also for the practical exam. Once again, you can go to your school and practice the written exam and the practical exam, and that is every single week. Of course, it may be a little bit different now, but if your school is open for business, call them and tell them you want to review with the students that are preparing to take the test. They do give you that option, and they go over all the questions every single week. So another source is Google. They do have some sites on Google that you can actually go to, and you just get a few questions where you can actually take a mock test for the written exam. So I have 2 sites, but you can just type it in Google and you will find a whole bunch of them. So I have 2 sites. I am going to list them in the comment below. One site is test.com. The other site is Cosmetology Practice Test.guru. So I'm looking down because I have notes, because I wanted to make sure I got every single thing out for you guys. So you do have those sites. Just type cosmetology written exam review in your Google search, and whatever you have, whatever comes up in your Google search, just click on it. I want to say that you should not have to pay for anything. These things are free. So if you see that you have to pay a fee, run. You know, these things are free, and they only give you a few questions. Like one site, I believe they gave like 50 questions, and then the other site, I believe it gave like maybe 30 something questions. But just play around with it, and you know, look, and it's free, so why not just see where you're at? And I think one of the sites at the end, they give you a score, so that's really good. So once again, to review, So you have your books from school. Stick to the book that you got from school, or whatever updated version of that book that is. I believe it's called the Maldi. I never know how to pronounce anything correctly. But stick to the book you got from school. It will be in this video. I'll put a picture of those books. Stick to those books. They are the most accurate, and they are the closest questions to the test. You definitely can use YouTube to review. As I said, I suggest the channel Beauty, Health, Travel. I'll put her name below. You can always go to your school every single week. Every single week, there's one day that they set aside for a review, and you can join that review. It doesn't matter if you graduated 10 months ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, your information is still in that school. I know that because I lost my certificate at one point, and this is years that passed, and they were able to just replace it. I'm still in that system. And as I said, I went to school years ago. So you want to definitely do that. Also, Google search cosmetology written exams, and you will find something. You will find some exams that you can review. Just click on them and do not pay for anything. Everything should be free. I don't cover the practical exam, but I do want to give some tips as far as the practical exam too, just based on what I know. Once again, you can go to your school to study for the practical exam. If it is open during this time, you can do that once again every single week. They have a specific day that they practice the practical exam. As soon as you go in, they will give you a list of the procedures in the order that the test is given in. So you do have that option to go to your school. If your school is open, go there and practice for your test. Even if you go one time, even if you go there to get that paper, just brush up on whatever you need to brush up on. So you do have that option to go to your school and to review also for the practical test as well. You can also go to your state website, the site that you actually apply for your test on. So the site that you will basically apply for your written exam and your practical exam, you can actually go on that site. And on that site, when you go to the exam, they actually have a list of the procedures for the practical test. Along with that, they have pictures of the procedures for the practical test. So in those pictures, they are black and white. They're not like super dated. They're very like black and white, old school, from the first test ever. But on that site, there are pictures of the procedures. So they have pictures of the pin curl, and it says counterclockwise, clockwise. They have a picture of how your curls should be. They have the entire test. So if you haven't been to school for a while, you can't make it to go do the review, you go to that website and look at those pictures. It shows you the test from beginning to end. It shows you where your ridges should be when you're doing your finger waves. It shows you everything. It shows you on base, off base, all that stuff. You can just go look at the pictures, and if it may come back to your memory once you see those pictures. So if you could print those pictures out, do so. So that is on your state website. So whatever state you're from, go to that website where you basically apply for the test and find the procedures. And also find the pictures of the procedures. It's definitely there. You'll definitely be good. And I learned that from a friend. Also, there's videos on YouTube, but no one on YouTube for any state has the full test, right? So there's little pieces from different states that you can basically watch. I think the cut in general is the same everywhere, so you can definitely watch videos on cutting. You can find videos on YouTube on the practical test as well. And I'm trying to read my notes. You ever write notes and you can't even read your own handwriting? So as far as the test, my last tip, I believe it is, I do not believe that they are looking for perfection when it comes to the practical test. I think they're looking for sanitation, especially sanitation now more than ever. They're looking for sanitation, and they're looking for you to be organized. So clean. I believe I cleaned all the time. After procedure, I cleaned. Just keep cleaning throughout the whole test. Keep sanitizing your hands. That's definitely important, especially now more than ever. So I think that's what they basically look for. They're not really looking for skills, because as you grow in your career, you'll get those skills. But they are looking for organization and sanitation. That is definitely the key. As far as my kit, I want to talk about that as well. I was definitely one of the lazy ones, and also I just didn't have time. I did not have time to pack my kit. So what I did was I went to Amazon, and I ordered a kit. So each state has someone who packs kits, and they basically label everything for you. They make sure you have I would say almost all the stuff that you need in your kit. So that's what I did. I bought a kit from Amazon for my state, and the kit was pretty expensive. So if you don't have it, I do not suggest that you do that. So I suggest if you just came out of beauty school, I would suggest that you just use the kit that you've been using and add whatever you need. I know that's kind of like once you finish beauty school, everything's like a little bit unorganized, but take what you have. But if you do have the money, you have the option of going on Amazon, type your state in, type practical kit for Virginia, practical kit for wherever you're from, and there 9 out of 10 times there's somebody selling the kit. I purchased my kit for $145. It's super pricey, but it is an investment in your career. And with the kit that I got, I definitely passed my test. So it was well packaged and well labeled. And also, I would say one note about the kit though. The kit, it did not have every single thing in it. So you basically get a list for what is in the kit, and I would definitely look at all the things you need, the list of the things you need, and see what's missing. Like for my kit, I was missing my smock. Some people call it an apron that you actually put over your clothes, so I had to go buy one. That cost me $4. I got an extra bottle of hand sanitizer. Only came with one, so I just wanted an extra one just in case, anything happened. And I believe I just got some extra brushes, but other than that, everything comes into the kit. And maybe I had to get a cape, but other than that, everything comes in the kit. So I would say check your kit, make sure because you probably will be missing one or two things, but everything will be labeled, everything will be ready to go, as far as it comes, as far as your kit goes. So you do have that option to just pre-order your kit from Amazon if you would like to do that. Definitely save time. I'm all about that. So that is an option for those that can absolutely afford it. And as I said, it come labeled. And then I just have some very small tips or whatever, as far as the practical test. You want to have your ID, you want to have proper ID. That was one thing that I did not have. I went to the test with my passport. Don't judge me. Sometimes I'm slow fast. That's what I always say. I'm slow sometimes and I'm fast sometimes. I would say make sure you have the proper ID. I went with my passport, and you need an ID that has your address on it, your proof of address. Luckily, the people were just so kind, and she just let me write my address down. But you want to have that ID with your address on it. If you do not have that type of identification, then bring some mail that is over 6 months. I believe that's the time it should have, like over 6 months, and bring that along with your passport or your passport ID. That will work just fine as well, I believe. So I know, like, that was just a stupid move on my part. Another thing is, don't get points taken off for stupid things. Like that example of me not having the proper identification, that is a silly thing to get points taken off for. Another thing that I feel like people got points taken off for was their outfit. Like, we're cosmetologists. I do consider you guys all cosmetologists. I know you guys will be successful. You guys will do great. So in the cosmetology world, we usually wear black. We usually wear all black. People are always saying to me, why do you have so much black clothes? Because I work in an industry that I am required to, typically in most jobs, 90% of the jobs, I have to wear black. So on that test day, when you're going to take your practical, just wear black. Wear all black. Just be on the safe side and just wear all black. So I saw people get points taken off just for their uniform, and it's just not worth it. So one young lady, she had like an apron, a smock, and it was black, but then her wording on her smock, it was white. So she was kind of asking people like, you know, do you have tape, you know, to try to cover it up, and that really didn't work. So I believe she got points taken off for that. So like, you know, little silly stuff like that that you can easily control, like having the proper ID, and wearing the proper color, definitely, absolutely.